Our planet is warming. The evidence is all around us, from the increasing temperatures to the changing weather patterns. This is not just a future problem, it is happening right now. This warming is changing the face of our planet. Landscapes that were once lush and green are now dry and barren. The impact is visible and undeniable. One of the most dramatic changes is the melting of glaciers. These massive ice formations are shrinking at an unprecedented rate. Glaciers are large masses of ice. They form over centuries, accumulating layers of snow that compress into ice. They are vital to our planet's ecosystem. They are found in mountainous regions and polar regions. These glaciers are crucial sources of fresh water for many communities. The glaciers are melting at an alarming rate. This rapid melting is contributing to rising sea levels and altering weather patterns. This is a global wake-up call. People around the world are raising their voices, demanding action to combat climate change. The year 2025 is on track to be one of the warmest years on record. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense, affecting millions of people. This heat is accelerating the melting of glaciers. The more the planet warms, the faster the ice melts, creating a vicious cycle. The melting ice contributes to rising sea levels. Coastal areas are particularly vulnerable, facing increased flooding and erosion. This is a serious threat to coastal communities worldwide. People are being forced to adapt, building barriers and relocating to higher ground. The current climate shift is largely due to human activities. Our reliance on fossil fuels is driving this change. We are burning fossil fuels at an unprecedented rate. This releases large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, causing the planet to warm. These gases trap heat and warm the planet. The consequences are dire. We must act now to mitigate these effects and protect our planet for future generations. The Thwaites Glacier in West Antarctica is a prime example of the rapid melting occurring in our polar regions. This massive ice formation is a critical indicator of climate change. This glacier is enormous, roughly the size of Florida, making it one of the largest glaciers on the planet. It is losing billions of tons of ice each year, contributing to a significant rise in sea levels. This contributes significantly to global sea level rise, which poses a threat to coastal communities around the world. Scientists are particularly concerned about the Thwaites Glacier because of its potential impact on global sea levels. It is dubbed the Doomsday Glacier due to the catastrophic consequences its collapse could have. If it were to collapse completely, it could raise global sea levels by several feet, leading to widespread flooding. This would inundate coastal cities and displace millions of people, creating a humanitarian crisis. The melting of the Thwaites Glacier is accelerating due to several factors, including both natural and human-induced changes. Warm ocean currents are melting the glacier from below, weakening its structure. Warmer air temperatures are melting it from above. The situation is critical, and immediate action is required to mitigate these effects. The LeConte Glacier in Alaska is another example of rapid glacier melt. This glacier, like many others around the world, is shrinking at an unprecedented rate due to rising global temperatures. Recent research has revealed the alarming rate at which this glacier is disappearing. Scientists have been closely monitoring the changes, and the data is concerning. The melting is not just happening on the surface. The ice is breaking off in large chunks, contributing to rising sea levels. It is it is also happening underwater. Beneath the surface, the glacier is being eroded by warm ocean currents. Scientists have discovered that turbulent meltwater currents are eroding the submerged face of the glacier. These currents are powerful and relentless. These currents are like underwater rivers. They flow with such force that they carve away at the glacier's base. They carve away at the ice, accelerating the melting process. This underwater erosion is a significant factor in the glacier's rapid decline. This phenomenon is likely occurring in glaciers around the world. The implications are global, affecting sea levels and ecosystems. The research on the LeConte Glacier involved sophisticated technology. Scientists used advanced tools to gather precise data. Scientists used sonar mapping, underwater probes, and drones to study the glacier. These technologies allowed them to see beneath the surface and understand the full extent of the melting. This research provides valuable insights into the complex processes driving glacier melt. Understanding these processes is crucial for predicting future changes and mitigating the impacts of climate change. The impact of glacier melt is not evenly distributed. Some regions are experiencing more dramatic changes than others. Western Canada, the United States, East-South Asia, and Central Europe are particularly vulnerable. These regions rely heavily on glaciers for fresh water. The glaciers act as natural reservoirs, releasing water gradually throughout the year. As the glaciers shrink, the water supply dwindles. This has serious implications for agriculture, drinking water, and ecosystems. And the loss of glaciers also has cultural significance. For many communities, glaciers are sacred sites. They are an integral part of their history and identity. Their disappearance is a profound loss. Section 5. Water scarcity, a growing threat. As glaciers melt, the availability of fresh water diminishes. This poses a significant threat to communities that depend on glacial meltwater. This is particularly true in arid and semi-arid regions. During the dry season, glaciers provide a vital source of water. They release water slowly, replenishing rivers and streams. This water is essential for irrigation, drinking water, and hydropower generation. The shrinking glaciers exacerbate water scarcity. This can lead to conflicts over water resources. It can also have devastating impacts on agriculture and livelihoods. Section 6. Rising seas, a looming crisis. The melting of glaciers is a major contributor to sea level rise. As glaciers melt, they add vast quantities of water to the oceans. This causes sea levels to rise globally. The consequences of sea level rise are far-reaching. Coastal erosion will accelerate, threatening homes, businesses, and infrastructure. Low-lying islands and coastal cities are particularly vulnerable to inundation. Rising sea levels also exacerbate storm surges. These are sudden rises in sea level caused by storms. They can cause widespread flooding and damage. The risks are increasing as sea levels rise. Section 7. Geoengineering, a controversial solution. The urgency of the climate crisis has led to the exploration of geoengineering solutions. These are large-scale interventions designed to manipulate the Earth's climate system. One such idea is the deployment of submarine curtains. These curtains would be placed in front of glaciers. They would block warm ocean currents from reaching the ice. This could potentially slow down the melting process. However, geoengineering is a controversial topic. There are concerns about the feasibility, cost, and potential unintended consequences of such interventions. Some argue that geoengineering could distract from the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Section 8. The urgency of action, a call for change. The evidence is clear. Human activities are causing glaciers to melt at an alarming rate. The consequences of inaction are dire. We must act urgently to mitigate climate change. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is paramount. We must transition to cleaner sources of energy, improve energy efficiency, and promote sustainable land use practices. Supporting research and innovation is crucial. We need to better understand the complex processes driving glacier melt and develop effective mitigation strategies. Section 9. Conclusion. Our future in the balance. The melting of glaciers is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our planet. It is a global problem that requires a global solution. We must act now to preserve these icy giants for future generations. The choices we make today will determine the fate of glaciers and the future of our planet. Let us choose wisely.